The first sparkle. Origins of adornment. Long before cities were built, before kings and queens wore crowns, before words were carved into stone, there was jewelry. Not the glittering diamonds or polished gold we know today, but humble pieces, shells strung together with sinew, bones polished by fire, stones worn smooth by rivers. These were the first jewels, the earliest signs that humans desired more than survival, they desired meaning. Imagine an ancient cave, firelight flickering against walls etched with paintings. Around the neck of a hunter hangs a necklace of animal teeth. To us, it may look primitive, but to him, it was power. The teeth spoke of victories, of beasts defeated, of strength inherited. Jewelry was not vanity, it was identity, memory, and protection. Archaeologists have uncovered beads made from shells in Morocco, dating back over 80,000 years. These are not tools, nor weapons, but adornments. This means that even in humanity's earliest days, people looked for ways to mark themselves as unique. Jewelry became language before language, a silent symbol that said, "This is who I am." The first jewels also held spiritual weight. A carved stone might protect against illness. A feather worn in the hair might carry the blessing of a bird's spirit. A shell might call upon the power of the ocean. Jewelry was a way to hold the invisible, the mysterious forces of nature and gods, close to the body. Thus, the story of jewelry begins not with beauty, but with belief. It was never just decoration, it was survival, spirit, and soul. And as humanity grew, so too did the meaning of what they wore. Jewels of the gods, Egypt, Mesopotamia and Greece. If the caves gave us the first beads, the ancient kingdoms gave us splendor. Egypt, the land of pharaohs and pyramids, believed that gold was the skin of the gods. To wear gold was to carry a piece of eternity. Pharaohs were buried in golden masks, and their queens adorned with necklaces of turquoise, lapis lazuli, and carnelian. Every jewel carried a story. The scarab beetle was not just an insect, but a sacred symbol of rebirth. Amulets shaped like the eye of Horus promised protection from evil. Collars of beads spread across the chest like wings, a reminder of divine guardianship. Jewelry was not vanity, it was magic. Mesopotamia, cradle of civilization, also wove stories into jewels. Women wore headdresses of gold and silver, men fastened amulets at their belts. Their jewelry bore spirals, moons, and stars, symbols of gods who ruled over fate. In their tombs, archaeologists found elaborate sets of earrings, necklaces, and tiaras, proof that jewelry was as much for the afterlife as it was for life. The Greeks, lovers of beauty and myth, turned jewelry into art. Laurel wreaths of gold-crowned victors, echoing Apollo's sacred tree. Gemstones were carved into intaglios, small portraits of gods and heroes. To wear jewelry was to honor the divine and to align oneself with myth. A bride might wear a necklace invoking Aphrodite, goddess of love, while a warrior might carry a talisman of Ares, god of war. In these lands, jewelry became more than adornment. It became prayer, victory, memory, and immortality. It was how mortals reached for the divine. Power, faith and fortune, Rome and beyond. When Rome rose, so did the ambition of jewelry. The empire stretched across continents, pulling treasures from every corner, pearls from the Persian Gulf, emeralds from Egypt, sapphires from subcontinent. Roman women draped themselves in gold chains and gemstone rings, their wealth displayed as loudly as their empire's power. But jewelry was not only for beauty. Rings carried seals, pressed into wax to sign documents, jewelry is authority. Soldiers wore talismans, carved with symbols to protect them in battle. Pearls, especially, became a Roman obsession. Pliny the Elder wrote of Cleopatra dissolving a pearl in vinegar and drinking it, to prove Egypt's wealth was beyond measure. Jewelry also followed trade. The Silk Road brought Chinese jade, Persian turquoise, and subcontinental diamonds into Roman markets. To wear such jewels was to wear the world itself. Yet Rome also democratized jewelry. Unlike Egypt, where gold was for the divine, in Rome even common citizens wore simple rings or pendants. Jewelry became not only a sign of wealth, but of belonging. A Roman citizen might prove his status with a specific ring on his finger. Through Rome, jewelry became what it often is today: status, identity, and spectacle. Medieval Europe. Symbols in metal and stone. After Rome's fall, Europe entered an age of faith. Jewelry shifted from worldly power to divine devotion. Crosses dangled from necks, rosaries of beads slipped through fingers, reliquaries of gold held the bones of saints. Jewelry was prayer made visible. Knights wore rings engraved with family crests, swearing loyalty to their lords. Noble women wore brooches inlaid with sapphires, not only for beauty but to show purity. Rings exchanged in marriage began to symbolize not only union but eternity, their unbroken circles representing forever. Colors mattered deeply. Blue, the color of the Virgin Mary, stood for faith. Green for fertility, red for courage and love. Each stone was chosen not only for sparkle but for meaning. Yet jewelry was also political. Kings and queens commissioned crowns heavy with gems, each stone a declaration of power. To wear a crown was to wear a kingdom. Medieval jewelry was not frivolous. It was loyalty, devotion, and survival in a world where symbols mattered more than words. Renaissance and beyond, art in gold and gemstone. The Renaissance was a rebirth of art, and jewelry was no exception. Goldsmiths crafted intricate pendants, cameos, and gem-encrusted masterpieces. Portraits of queens and noblewomen show necklaces heavy with pearls and rubies, symbols of wealth and desire. Gem cutting advanced, revealing brilliance hidden inside stones. Diamonds, once dull, began to sparkle. Rubies glowed with fiery passion. Emeralds shone with the promise of rebirth. Each gem carried symbolism. Ruby, love and passion. Sapphire, truth and loyalty. Emerald, renewal and fertility. Diamond, eternity and strength. For monarchs, jewels were politics. Henry VIII of England covered himself in rings and chains, every jewel a reminder of his authority. Catherine de' Medici used jewelry as gifts and bribes, weaving power through glitter. The Renaissance turned jewelry into both art and weapon, beauty that influenced hearts and thrones. The 19th and 20th century, jewelry for love and memory. The Victorian age brought romance into jewelry. Lockets held portraits or even locks of hair. Mourning jewelry, often made of jet, honored the dead. Rings carried hidden messages, with gems spelling words like love through their initials. It was in this era that diamonds became the ultimate symbol of love. The De Beers campaign declared, "A diamond is forever." Engagement rings transformed from a custom into a near-universal ritual, diamonds shining as eternal promises. In the 20th century, Hollywood added glamour. Actresses wore jewels on screen, inspiring millions. Coco Chanel popularized costume jewelry, making adornment accessible to all, while Cartier and Tiffany crafted masterpieces for the elite. Jewelry became memory. A wedding ring marked commitment. A locket held family. A bracelet from war carried hope. Jewelry became love crystallized. The modern world, expression, identity and spirit. Today, jewelry is both ancient and new. Some wear gold, bangles passed down through generations. Others wear minimalist rings bought online. From the evil eye of Turkey to chakra stones of India, spiritual jewelry thrives, protecting, guiding, and healing. Jewelry has also become rebellion. Punk spikes, gothic chokers, rainbow pride pins, each jewel a statement of identity. Sustainability, too, shapes modern jewelry, with recycled metals and lab-grown diamonds carrying as much symbolism as natural stones. Celebrities shape trends, yet personal meaning prevails. A grandmother's ring, a handmade pendant, a charm bracelet, these are treasures no store can replace. Jewelry today is freedom. Freedom to adorn, to express, to remember. From shells on cave dwellers to diamonds on brides, jewelry has carried us through time. It has been weapon and prayer, art and memory, wealth and love. Every piece of jewelry whispers a story, of who wore it, why it was given, and what it meant. The sparkle of a jewel is not only light, it is history, faith, and heart. Jewelry is not decoration, it is humanity itself, eternal as the stars.